So, you've just had a Kundalini awakening. You've had a very explosive, eruptive, groundbreaking experience through you that you just can't ignore. You're getting insights daily, and you're feeling really good because you've been shifted somewhat into a new state of being, a new consciousness, in a sense. And part of that new state of being is silence. That ego mindset, that negative rhetoric that's constantly mean to you in your mind, mean to others, and judgmental, has died in you, at least temporarily. And there's silence now. You're left with this almost eerie silence. And I'm gonna, hopefully be a little bit of a comforter on the journey because I've been through the experience. I know what it's like. And this video is to give you some comfort in that moment and maybe some ideas as to what's coming next. So, your explosive, enlightening experience has happened. Some sort of shift, some sort of big jolt, big energetic surge has rip-roared through your spine. Well, it feels like it comes at the front of the body, doesn't it? But it doesn't. It's in your spine. In the yogic philosophy, it's taught that your karmas are held in your spine. Now, karma just means action. It doesn't mean what's done to you gets given back, etc. Although I suppose it kind of does in a sense, because that's what action's about. And if you do a negative action, you're going to get negative actions back. Regardless, your karmas are stored in your spine. And as we do the sadhana, the pranayamas, the yoga, your dedication to your daily practice, that's what the sadhana means. And if you wish to, down below you can sign up for a free breathing practice. It will sign you up to a marketing list where I'll sell you some products, because that's how I run this channel. That's how I make my living. I'm a yoga teacher. I'm qualified to teach these things. And down below you can sign up for the Dark Night of the Soul practices. That's also in that marketing list that you can sign up for through the free breathing practice down below. As well, down below there's a free community available to you. It's private, it's on Facebook, it's for people that go through experiences like this and then don't have that support structure of anybody around you that knows what's going on, because you're isolated in a sense if a Kundalini awakening happens to you. Firstly inside of yourselves with this silence that I'm talking about, but also externally because nobody else has gone through that experience and they don't get it and they think you're crazy. Especially if you start speaking about it. So down below, you're more than welcome to join us there and speak to your heart's content, we understand what's going on. Regardless, back to the video. Oh, just mention down below, you're more than welcome to sign up for one-to-one coaching too. There's an application form. It's free to sign up for. Alright, back to the video. There's a silence. Once you've had this explosive awakening experience, you're left in silence, aren't you? That egoic mind, that karmic patterning mindset has dropped into the abyss, the void of who you are, in a sense. It's a wholeness. There's no, it's not a scary void, it's not a nothingness, but in a sense, you're beginning to realise that you are in fact nothing. You can't, if you close your eyes with me right now, you can't pinpoint in your consciousness this one that you call you, right? And that one that we might call you, this one in the mind, after a Kundalini awakening has subsided, has died. And we're left in this silence for an extended period of time sometimes. And it can feel very, very eerie. Let's put it this way. You'll know if you're going through this experience. So I had my Kundalini awakening when I was 20. I'd spent 20 years living in my mind, thinking I was this I that keeps speaking to me in my head. And it's usually very negative, and it usually berates and abuses us, doesn't it? Well, if you're anything like me. And we spent 20 years with that, and then in an instant, something's awakened inside of you. That mindset, that mind has died. You have no reference point for it. You can't pick it up again. You can't find it. It doesn't exist in you anymore. And that can be really alarming, can't it? Because it's like, oh my God, I've died. And yes, The I that you used to think you are has, in that instant, died. And you're now the witness to this silence, right? We call it in yoga dynamic stillness, something that we can cultivate with the practice down below. You don't have to have a Kundalini awakening for it, the free practice down below, but it's something that you're naturally shoved into, in a sense, willingly, because it's a nice experience, Kundalini awakening, after that experience. It's the consciousness that you're led into, this silent awareness that we are. And it is awfully eerie. Now, when we spend some time here, because we have no reference point, and we start believing that we aren't going to fit in anymore, because we're now we don't know who we are, we do try and start piecing back our ego together again. We try and build it back in. It'll feel fake and it'll feel wrong, but you'll do it anyway, because you'll come to a point probably where inside your consciousness where you're like, I think I might want that mind back. Because better the devil you know than the devil you don't, right? At least that's the belief structure that we're brought up with. And there's comfort in that really negative mindset. It doesn't serve us. It does not serve us at all. And we know that. But we know it. You know, it is our blankie, in a sense, on the spiritual journey. It's the one thing we try and hold back onto, because this new state of being that you have inside of you now is so alien to you. So, after a while in this silence, we might begin to realise that the ego is coming back in after a time, because it will naturally. Yes, we try and piece it back together, but after a while, naturally, some of the karmas that are still stored in our spine, that we have built up through being a prat in our lives, and we know these things, you know, are still there to be cleared. These actions are still there to be cleared. And then that's the next part of the journey for you. The egoic mindset will come back in, and it won't feel very nice. You'll probably feel disconnected from that silence. You might start wanting the silence back, and in fact you probably will. But it won't come back easily. You are now on the spiritual journey. Of course, you know, like, something's gone on in you that you cannot ignore, and you can go back to your old life, but you won't fit in the same way. You won't, because you know too much now, in a sense, of the universe, you know, inside of you. You know too much of your inner beauty, too much of your inner power, and too much about reality as it really is, not the fake news version of reality that everyone else is living. You've woken up out of the Instagram of your life, in a sense, now. And anyone who's sincere and earnest on this journey will notice that they want to get back to that state of being that the Kundalini awakening put you into. You don't want the experience again. You might be convinced that you do, because it feels great, but it isn't the experience so much that you want. It's the state of being that you're put into afterwards, that silence, that beauty. We're all beautiful. So I had some troubled friend speaking on one of the comments and saying, "Oh, Jamie, it's all right for you, you're above average looking. You don't know the pains of an ugly man, a short and ugly man. I'll never attract a relationship. This is why I'm in a depression, not for the reasons that you're saying." And I'm there like, yeah. Obviously I was empathetic, you know, on my comment. I didn't actually say that. But it's kind of like, we're focused on this external beauty, this Instagram beauty, when inside we are so beautiful. External figure, external form doesn't matter to us, to the beauty that we are. And you know this beauty in an essence now. And it's that beauty that we want back. It's not like you've lost it, although in a sense you've lost your clarity of it, I would say. From my experience, that's a good way of describing it, maybe. We've lost our clarity, and the mind comes back, doesn't it? And we've lost, in that sense, our beauty again. We're then attached to that egoic mindset again. Different, yes. The ego, you know, has been seen through. You know it doesn't really exist, but it does come back, yes, as an illusion to trick you for some time. And it's almost like, you know those toys you used to get when you were a little kid, where you wound it up. Maybe it was like a race car or something. You round it up and then you put it on the table and it goes until the coil had stopped working in it. And it's like that, the ego's like that now. We've now, with our Kundalini awakening, wound the toy up so much past pre-Kundalini awakening. You know, we've put ourselves in such a tight spot that only a Kundalini awakening is going to get us to pay attention and go this way. So Kundalini awakening happens, poof, you know, explodes through your body. And then that's like the coil going, yep, all right, let's start this process of the ego wearing out, but it's on a timer. It's on a finite timer now, and this is your journey now to connect back to the clarity and the beauty of who you are that the Kundalini awakening experience brought about in you as an experience consciously, as a conscious experience inside of yourself. I hope that made sense. I hope I didn't really fuddle that one up there. Remember, it's not the experience we want again, although we might think we do. Because we're like a drug addict, hooked on that feeling of bliss. But it's the state of being, the consciousness that we are put into after that silence that we're craving. Because from that silence, from that no state, no ego state of being, that consciousness there is almost like, I would say, our platform through which we can build a true life on. A foundation from which positive thoughts naturally spring, a foundation from which we become that godly nature that we always were, but that we convinced ourselves that we weren't with this egoic identity that's constantly telling us we're not good enough. You know beyond belief as an experience now that you are good enough, you're worthy, you get a kiss from God, you've tasted that nectar, and now nothing else will quite taste the same. And it's from that foundation of nothing else externally quite tasting the same anymore, quite having the same gravitas to it, that we can begin to build an authentic life. And of course, we're going to fail sometimes, guilty, you know, we're going to screw things up, we're going to make mistakes, but that's life, you know. A life without mistakes isn't a life worth living, especially not for me, because I blooming love making mistakes. Some mistakes are really fun. If you want to go out on the lash and have a really good weekend away, it's probably a mistake, but my God, am I going to do it because it's great fun. You know, a trip to Amsterdam, I did this the other month. It's definitely a mistake, right? That's not in alignment with your highest good, is it? But are you going to do it? Yes. Mistakes are fun, you know, and they're okay. This is life. There's no need to be so tight, because life is so kind, and it will just let you make mistakes so long as you're earnest. So long as you're earnest in your pursuit to grow, life will always forgive you, so long as you forgive yourself as well. Look, this was a loaded video. I'm really happy that this came out, because that felt right. If you want to sign up for one-to-one coaching, if you've had an experience, I have a very wise teacher that taught me how to teach, and has taken me through a journey, and I found some form of completion. I'm not perfect, trust me. I'm a little rascal sometimes, and I'm not perfect, but my journey's come to some form of completion in a sense. I feel like I'm more stable now than what I was at the start, for sure. And it's from that stability now that I offer you the one-to-one coaching down below. If you don't know what's going on, if you're scared about the pitfalls of the journey, because there are a lot, you know, and if you're worried or don't have any guidance and would like some, then it's very affordable. You can apply down below. All right, good video. That felt nice, that felt right. I hope this helps if you're in that silent state. Don't panic, it's natural, you know, but just be wary. The ego might come back in, and then the real work starts. And that's when we pick up our sadhana, our daily spiritual practice that will enliven our energies, in a sense, and will bring out the highest possibility for our life. That highest potential you want, you can have. Manifestations too, along the way. But to awaken that inside of us, to really become that version of ourselves, we have to go through an experience of some sadhana, some deep inner work, that healing process that sadhana provides us. And if you want that sadhana to start you off, and down below there's a free cosmic devil breathing practice you can sign up. Alright, that's great, really good. Have a nice evening.